album concept hour. The album concept hour. It's the album concept hour. Side B.
Plane.
Oh, it's the plane. Can they hear me before the plane, or is
No,
it
they
like,
can't.
They can't. So the plane is when they can hear me. So you can all hear me right now.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody to the Album Concept Hour Side B. I am your host Brad LeBaron, and one of these weeks we will get the intro timing correct, but this week is not it. I am here as always with my co-host Nathan Manny out there in space. How's it going, Nate?
It's going.
You're
It's
like
going
way out
cool,
there.
smooth. It's going smooth in space. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like at the edge of the solar system or something. I'm trying to stay close to Earth a little bit.
To home. Yeah.
Yeah. Nate or Reese is not able to be here today. Again, he's working double shift. He's trying to pay those bills, and we got to let him do that. But he will be back one of these days. But today we have a very special guest. This is someone that responded to our call out to get people from different states or that know about different states to come on the podcast. This is Orange G Music. If you're following him on Twitter, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for responding to the post. You were one of the first couple of people to respond. I think we messaged a little bit when we first became friends on Twitter because I heard a little bit of your stuff. But you play music as well as you are a professor. What can you tell us about your journey starting to make music as the Orange G label?
Yeah. I had been going to open mics a little bit before the pandemic, and when the pandemic hit, I started going to a virtual version of the open mic that I had been going to in person, and my friend there, she became my friend over months and weeks of just hanging out when you couldn't hang out with anybody.
On the virtual camera you're saying?
On the virtual open mic. Every week she'd be like, where can we find you online? Where can we find your music? She would ask this to everyone. I started feeling guilty, like maybe what I'm making is actually worth something, and so I started a Twitter and a Bandcamp page and put a track up, and then I just found this really wonderful indie, micro indie music community that just is really supportive and friendly, and I've met all sorts of amazing people who've just changed my life.
You were telling me about that before the recording. It sounds really, really interesting. I've wondered if there are virtual open mic nights out there, but I never actually went out and found them. So I'm really excited to look into that. Did you have like a handful of songs that you had already kind of written and just you just had to yourself that you play between covers, or?
Yeah, exactly. I had written a couple of songs. In fact, one of the first songs I released was kind of the first song that I played at an open mic. And it's a song called Outpost. I'm actually working on re-recording it now. I had gotten one of these harmonica holders. It's actually just sitting right here with a harmonica in it.
Yeah.
And I've been playing harmonica since high school. I was that kid that had a harmonica in his pocket all the time. And
just ready
to rock. School of rock. And,
in case you need to jump onto a train car or something and impress the other people.
Oh yeah, but it's like I always I didn't really share my music with people ever.
But I always have one next to me, but I'm not playing it much yet.
Nice.
But I'm trying. The first step is putting it in front of me, so maybe I'll pick it up.
But when I was a high school student, living in Illinois in the Midwest, Casimir Pulaski days and everything.
Yes, that's from the Sufjan album.
Yes. In fact, I didn't realize until much later in life how unique that was to Illinois. But Uh, but yeah, I'd like ride around in my car with an A harmonica, listening to Led Zeppelin 1 and just
Ooh,
rocking out because the whole album's in E, and so
yeah.
you're playing cross harp.
So you were a cool kid. You were
No, I
like,
was trying so hard to be cool and failing every single day.
well, I mean, sometimes looking back, that's what cool ends up being. It's just like, oh, that kid was like, he was pretty chill, huh? But yeah, no, that's very, very cool though, in retrospect at least. And yeah, I'll be definitely checking that out as soon as we get off this podcast. I need
Nice.
I need to dust off my acoustic guitar. I have
Oh
a handful
yeah,
of I have a handful of songs as well, just sitting on the floor. So, it'll be nice to maybe dust those off.
it's amazing what
Um,
can happen with a little encouragement too. You know,
hmm
and
hmm Yeah,
you know,
I'm formerly of the open mic like lifestyle. Like before I moved up to Madison, that's what I did like pretty regularly, and
nice.
I just haven't been able to find the same kind of community again. So hopefully, I mean, sounds like you have a really cool thing going there. So yeah, yeah. I think me and Nate did almost did one time. We were
Yeah,
working
we
on
were
doing
talking
old
about it.
old man by uh old man
Neil
Neil
Young.
Young.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I could not hit those high notes, and you
I'm just really
can
bad at
actually
harmonizing.
hit
Yeah.
his.
And I can hit
Yeah, yeah.
them. Yeah. But I can hit them.
Uh-huh.
And I
Yeah.
feel like my trouble is having the ear for the harmonics of the other person
Hmm.
and not shifting into how they're singing. I think I want to do vocal lessons because I think I do have a good
Hmm.
voice. And I already have a
Yeah,
bit of an
definitely you
ear for
do.
music from my previous, like I went to band class in high school, but I was always sort of like impatient with music. And I was like, if I can't do
Hmm.
this perfect right away, blah, it was kind of like a perfectionist mindset
Yeah,
about it. And I think I needed to
yeah,
get over that. And I think
yeah,
now is about the time to probably dip my toe in it. But money is like the only thing
yeah.
holding me back. I want to pay these people, these artists, to help me adequately.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I wish I'd taken vocal lessons. I've never
Yeah, me
done that.
too. Me too, man. Like I can I also like can't sing, but like, there's you can always improve, and
I
learn how to use it more as an instrument or whatever.
I hated my voice before I
Yeah.
started going to open mic every single week and just doing that
Hmm.
every single week, like really
Yeah.
changed my voice.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of open mic and finding your voice, this playlist we put together for Nebraska really has like some of those vibes. I think a few of these artists, like these are definitely. I mean, Bright Eyes, that was a go-to for open mics. I'm sure
Nice.
in a lot of circles, Elliott Smith is a go-to. I didn't really find out much about Elliott Smith till a little later, but yeah, so there's a real kind of acoustic folksy sincere vibe in a lot of this Nebraska music that we're going to cover today. Now you're not actually from Nebraska, but we wanted to get you on, and you mentioned that you really love a lot of Nebraska artists. Now, is there a particular reason that you've have a fondness for Nebraska artists, or you just find out that a lot of them happen to be from around there?
I I discovered Bright Eyes when I was in graduate school.
Yeah,
Somebody had left. They released two albums in 2002,
yeah.
Wide Awake This Morning and A Digital Ash in a Digital
Oh
Urn.
yeah, yeah.
Somebody left those two albums in the lab I was working in, and
Oh
I just fell in love. And
yeah,
graduate school is a time of intense self doubt.
yeah,
Is worry about the future, and those songs just they helped me get through, and
yeah.
it's just it resonated so hard.
Yeah, I am also a huge Bright Eyes fan. I've been listening to them since high school, probably freshman year, just about. So it was probably unhealthily influential on my life at that point. With all of the stuff going on in the high school days. But and also it was, I had to defend him a lot because this was the emo times, and
Oh
like
yeah.
especially his first couple of albums, he kind of has that voice that sounds like he's about to cry sometimes, and some people really can't are not about it.
Well, I
So
tell you, I went through the exact same thing. Not that
yeah,
many people in my life liked them,
hmm
and I just came to realize that I'm a different bird, and that
yeah,
I have unique tastes, and whenever I meet somebody who's a big fan, I want to just give them a big hug,
yeah, because
because it's like there's a
he's a
kinship.
yeah, because I think he's one of the greatest songwriters of our time, maybe
Yeah,
one of the last real like singer songwriter types. And he's just his lyrics are like poetry. Like he really gets into the meat of some hard subject matter. But I think that he's kind of got the Bob Dylan thing going. He's got that really strange kind of voice. And I think early on that a lot of people kind of wrote him off for that. But if anyone
yeah,
hears
yeah.
his later stuff, I think that most people can appreciate, at least his last several albums, because they're well put together, and he's not as in that sad, um, you know, headspace as much maybe.
I think the other thing that is really unique is the range of genres that he touches upon. I mean,
Hmm.
the two albums that I was just talking about. It's an
Yeah,
electronica album and an Americana album in the same
yeah,
year.
yeah.
Who does that?
Yeah,
I
it was
don't
a it
know.
was a it was a big deal at the time. Everyone was talking about those two. But yeah, we also have other music to talk about. We got Elliott
Oh yeah.
Smith. We got Cursive. Apparently, Cursive is from Nebraska. I was surprised to find a lot of these were from Nebraska. But having heard them all, it kind of makes sense. So why don't we break into one of the tracks? This first track is actually not Bright Eyes. We're going to start with actually a band that is called Nebraska, um, and but they're not from Nebraska. They're actually from Australia. This track is called Jejune.
That's my love language right there.
Yeah. No, it's up my alley too. Like, um, I think this is something, the style that some people, back in my day called emo, some people might call shoegaze, but yeah, I was kind of stunned though that this sound was coming out of Australia. I didn't know that they had this flavor of like, emo adjacent stuff. So, um,
Yeah, yeah. I was surprised too because I did some inventive googling once I saw the playlist. I was like, "Where are
yeah.
these people from?"
Yeah, I was assuming just they were from Nebraska when I saw it because Jejune is something that Conor Oberst mentions in one of his songs, and he's from Nebraska. So I was like, oh, maybe Jejune is a Nebraska thing, but I couldn't find any connection with that. So
No.
I don't know how these are all connected, but I think they were they're pretty tight though. I
Oh
like what they're
yeah.
doing. They don't have a lot of attention from what I was finding. So yeah, if you enjoyed that little clip, like definitely check these guys out.
Yeah, check out their Bandcamp page. Yeah.
Yeah. And do it Bandcamp Friday if you want to buy something. Yeah, so I don't know, I don't have the lyrics for this track in front of me or anything, so I'm not gonna I don't have too much to say about the themes or content of it, but I wanted to include it though at the beginning of the list because I mean they're called Nebraska, so it fits. So yeah, this next track though, we're going to get into some of that Bright Eyes we were talking about. This is going to be a song from the People's Key. This is Jejune Stars.
So I go umbrella.
love that little drum line at the end there.
Yeah. I'm so glad we're talking about Bright Eyes. We haven't covered them, I think, at all on either of the podcasts yet. So yeah, there's a real
Do you know
treat.
when this track came out roughly?
Oh, this one I want to say 2016.
Okay.
And People's Key was 2011, I'm pretty sure.
Oh wow, was it? Wow,
I remember
really?
because it was right after I moved to Pittsburgh, and
Man,
it
I
was the
think
first
you're
time I'd
right.
seen them in concert. Was that album?
Okay. Wow, that feels like it wasn't that long ago. That's
'Cause
crazy.
and they just released an album last year.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
like, and it was like 10 years gone that they weren't,
yeah.
between albums. So
Yeah, because I remember thinking I remember wondering if this was the People's Key was going to be the last one, because at the time people were thinking like he might stop. So yeah, this was one I jammed on a lot.
I also love the theme in that song because it's like, is it true what we're made of? Why do we hide from the rain? Because all
Yeah.
life comes from water. Is I
Mhm.
think the idea.
Yeah. It is a really cool like conundrum, because I remember the first time like I was like running around in the rain as a kid or whatever. My mom was like, "You have to come inside," blah blah blah. I'm like, "Well, this is so fun." But yeah, it's a really natural kind of idea he's getting out there, as well as a Jejune stars, which is uh jejune apparently is a synonym for uninteresting or lacking substance. So yeah, maybe I don't know what he means by jejune stars, but maybe he's, I don't know, sick of celebrity or something. I don't really have a great theory on that.
I think that is a theme,
Yeah.
that comes up.
Yeah. He does get in. Yeah, he does like touch on that a lot throughout his discography, you know. The weird lifestyle that he found himself in.
I think it's really common that
Yeah.
people want to be known, and
hmm
but then once they get once they make it or whatever,
Yeah.
then they get sick of everyone recognizing them.
Yeah. What I like about Conor Oberst is he kind of always had that attitude. Like even in Fevers and Mirrors, he was like, just remember that one with the track with the radio
The
guy.
fake interview.
Is it a fake interview?
It's not him. Yeah, it's one of his friends.
Oh.
Where he's talking about like carrying a
Oh.
safety pin in his pocket and he'll like wound himself. I mean, like, look, my finger.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot better about that track, because it seemed so mean towards like the radio producer. It's like, man, whoever had to do that.
Don't you write your own questions?
Yeah. But okay, I'm gonna have to re-listen to that now, because now it seems like it's a really fun bit.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah. But yeah, he's definitely always had like taken that kind of lifestyle with a grain of salt, because he's I think from a very young age followed the the other singer songwriters lifestyles. Like he's been doing this since he was very very young. So yeah, his first collection was a collection of songs from 97 through 2000 or something. You remember that collection where it's a bunch of his really really young recordings.
He was like 13 and the youngest one of them, I think, or something.
Yeah. And one he actually is crying by the end of the song. Saturday as usual, so yeah, really raw stuff that you can see his entire growth as an artist.
Brad was expecting to have to ease me and Reese into this one, because we were both kind of in. Reese is still a little bit more critical than I am of other genres, and he doesn't like say it like in earnest that he hates it or anything. He's like, you can listen to what you want, but he's a little bit more critical. Yeah. But I was too back in high school. Yeah, I was too in high school. But I'm glad that you introduced me to this song first, because I'm into like metal first and foremost. Well, actually more so in high school. I've definitely branched out since then. But I liked the drums in this song were a little more rocking than I was expecting from Bright Eyes from what I've heard about them. And so it made me kind of think, and then also it kind of reminded me of this like convergence I think has been kind of happening musically between like rock and emo and like the post-hardcore scene is like one of my favorite artists, Baroness, started off as like a more like hardcore and punk on their first EP, and then they've become more like talking about feelings and making the intensity of the music not necessarily like the full bore metal, and it's more like this sort of like we'll throw in a little quick thing like this really quick that's a little hard. It was interesting. It was like I wasn't expecting it. It was reminiscent of some like hard rock and metal that I like.
Yeah, like
times.
You know, he's got such range you know, throughout his albums. That one, you know, People's Key is a really probably one of the most, I think, rocking ones of his discography.
It almost went prog on me, that
Mhm.
you know, that drum solo.
Yeah, and to hear it in the middle of a kind of, you know, a songwriter, you know, Elton Johnny kind of tune or whatever, it's, you know, way cool. But we got a couple more tracks of Bright Eyes to go before we move on from Bright Eyes. We got for this next one we have I started with Jejune Stars to kind of, you know, like Nate was saying, ease you guys into the Bright Eyes. And this one is Landlocked Blues, so it's a little more of a slower classic Bright Eyes.
These kids playing guns in the street, and one's pointing his tree branch at me. So I put my hands up, I say enough is enough. If you walk away, I'll walk away. And he shot me dead. I found a liquid cure from my landlocked blues.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god,
that line slays me.
yeah. He's really one of the, you know, consistent themes of his discography is travel. You know, he definitely, you know, has he even has more on this album, I think, talking about traveling. Like he's got one song is even called Just Another Traveling Song, which is that on this list? No. But yeah, Landlocked Blues is actually one of my brother's favorites. It's one that he comes back to quite a bit, and it's just such a man. It's like this could fit perfectly in like late 60s or 70s, you know, ballad, you know. It's just so classic and timeless, I guess.
One of the lines in that song really touches on the theme of fame that you were alluding to, because it's like the line is like, I'm making a deal with the devils of fame.
Yeah.
Be free child once you've died.
He's really good at those cutting existential quandaries. You know, he's got a lot of existential stuff going on throughout.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I think that's why I like his music so much. Because
yeah. One of my favorites is I don't know when, but a day is going to come. It's just talking about essentially like the heat death of the universe, but it's like, you know, it's Bright Eyes.
I do a banjo cover from A Balance Beam off that album, I think.
Oh yeah. Nice. I used to know how to play what was it, the something ballad, the shit, it was on one of the EPs. I can't believe I don't remember it right now. Perfect Sonnet.
Okay, nice.
I don't think I could sing that one anymore though. He's basically yelling at some of those lines. But yeah, I really shout out though to Mary Lou Harris that is singing in this. um I think it's the only time she's um in a Bright Eye song and featured like this, though I wish it happened more often because she complements his voice so well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I always love it when he's got a female vocalist that he's ping ponging,
Yeah. And
lines with.
this was one of the first ones that I don't know, like I think before this album, he was very much in his decade that he grew up in. He was his music reflected that, but then this album I think is where he becomes a actual like classic singer songwriter, and this song being a great example of that because this is probably one of the most mature sounding albums he'd ever done, I think, at this point. And I didn't, you know what, it's crazy, I didn't even really like this stuff as much when it came out. I liked the earlier angsty, really sad, self-deprecating stuff more than this, but now I'm like this is like just hits my soul in a way.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
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 it's kind of crazy, but you know, when I think about all of the phases I've gone through of musical, just like obsession,
yeah,
this is the longest one that I've been in.
yeah,
And of course I listen
yeah.
to other things and I have
Uh-huh.
other music that I love, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, Bright Eyes lasted way longer than my Pink Floyd phase, for example.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. For me, Bright Eyes is on that list of bands that I purposefully don't listen to for a long time, so that when I do listen to it again, it like really hits.
Nice, yeah.
There's those, and I only do that to like my favorite music, because for me, if I over listen to it, I will get sick of it and hate it, no matter how good it is. But yeah, it's definitely something I constantly come back to, and you get new things listening back to it when you return years later. Yeah. We're gonna be repping Bright Eyes pretty hard in this episode, guys. So if you if you have a problem with Bright Eyes, then this is not probably for you. But yeah, I love Connor Oberst. And also found out there were questionable allegations towards Connor Oberst a few years back, which I only heard one part of, and apparently there was a woman that came up and said that he had sexually assaulted her backstage, and she later admitted that she had made everything up and apologized to basically the whole community for this hurts people that are actually abused and
Survivors and
stuff.
trying to, yeah.
Yeah. So I, for once, was pleasantly surprised that the rumors were, or the initial report was false.
I was
So
so sad when I heard the rumors, and so happy when I found out that it was all fake.
yeah, for because it's pretty rare that it is a false accusation these days. So yeah, I was thinking when I was doing research that this might be another brand new situation.
And
But
and to his credit, I think he was pretty devastated that those
He was.
allegations were
Yeah, it
leveled
really.
against him, and really careful about how
Yeah.
he dealt publicly with the
Mhm.
those allegations being retracted as well, I think.
Yeah, if you look at the statements, it's yeah, I mean, just I don't know, a good example of how to just process that without just attacking women, being your response to it, because that's no good either.
Yeah.
So yeah, just wanted to shed one ray of light though on that, as we're talking about Conor Oberst, in case any of you were like me and didn't hear the secondary story. I just heard the first account and was like, oh no. I mean, obviously for everyone involved in that case, but you know how you feel when an artist that you love does something bad. You're just like, oh no. What is all of this stuff that I like from him mean about me?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, let's move on to another track. We got two more Bright Eyes tracks, and then a different Conor Oberst project, and then Elliott Smith. But this next track is from Casadega. This is I Must Belong Somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Let the orange embers in the fireplace remain. 'Cause everything it must belong somewhere. A train off in the distance, bicycle chained to the stairs. Everything it must belong somewhere. I know that now, that's why I'm staying here.
Oh man.
Personal story. Can I share a personal story?
Yes, please. This is the forum.
So this album came out in like 2005, and
Yeah.
no, 2006 or 7. Something
This
like that, somewhere in there.
one, let me check. Let me view the credits here. We got 2007.
2007. So I'm like trying to find a job, like a big kid professor job.
Yeah.
It's the hardest thing on the planet. It's not the hardest thing on the planet, but it's really hard. It's really competitive.
That's what I hear.
And it sucks. Like you just question everything about everything. But that song was like a comfort. It's like I must belong somewhere because I don't feel like I belong anywhere. And
Yeah.
I'm sure it has many contexts that it's helped people.
Yeah. It has that that kind of feeling of appreciating your situation, I guess, on the surface. Although it does have a little bit of some dark stuff in there too. He mixes in a lot of like positive stuff with like some like really cynical negative stuff too, because he says like on one verse like the poor beggar, uh what was it? I don't want to butcher it, but there's like there's a
The poor black child in the crumbling school.
Oh yeah. Like, so he's saying like these good things should remain, but he also is saying in the same tone these bad things must remain too. Which I find really, a good songwriting.
Yeah. Like highlighting how dire it is that those things are happening.
Yeah. But there's also, a good reason, things that you don't want to change for a good reason, and people don't want to change for bad reasons.
I love the novelist in the Daydream Tomb and the scientist in the Rubik's Cube, and kudos for also gendering the scientist as female, because I think that's something that goes against your average designation that you might assume.
Yeah, especially in 2007.
Yeah.
That's I didn't even notice that any of my listens through. But yeah, he's got such a cool way of talking about regular people in regular professions. He's always just got these just beautiful songs about ordinary people. So yeah, I recommend you find as many of those as you can. He'll make you feel good about loving your hometown, which not a lot of these songs, not all these songs do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In like some of these are positive songs, but one thing I want to get to is the fact that Nebraska is known as the nice place or the good state. And I'm finding that, albeit earlier Bright Eyes, there's a lot of sadness. Elliott Smith, some of the saddest music ever made. You got, Cursive a little bit, and they dabbled in some of the emo stuff. So it seems like Nebraska is a kind of sad place to live from what I'm getting here. I don't know much about Nebraska. But just judging by Bright Eyes and Elliott Smith coming out of it, it's just like, I don't know.
Now, Elliott Smith grew up there, but I think he spent a
That's
lot
true.
of time like in on the West
Yeah,
Coast.
yeah. He was mostly just born there.
It's so far north up there, like winters are tough and long, I'm thinking,
yeah,
yeah.
It is a real Midwest kind of place,
Yeah, like Bon Iver, like I think the classical view of Bon Iver is, in some cabin out in the middle of a snowy field in Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
Yeah, maybe that's part of the reason that Bright Eyes feels like so much at home, with my ear, or a Midwest ear maybe. Yeah. You guys want to move on to another track? We got one more Bright Eyes track for you guys. This is Calais to Dover, from Down in the Weeds.
From Calais back to Dover, as pale as the white cliffs that we faced. Wasn't afraid of eventuality, just knew that it was over. No brushes with death could keep us sober. If I was in London, I'd hold you to everything.
Now, I didn't actually hear this album yet. This one came out fairly recently, right?
Yeah, it came out September of last year. It was it was a big event for me.
Yeah. Do you ever avoid an album because you're afraid it won't be as good or better as the last one? I have a little bit of a fear of commitment sometimes.
Yeah, I guess I've learned with everything that Connor does. I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna be able to find things that just grow on me that get stuck in my head. But definitely with other bands, I've definitely like Pink Floyd, great example, right? Like Division Bell, I think I've listened to maybe like 0.1 times.
Yeah. I think I just did the one listen through probably.
Yeah.
And then there's the one song that's played from that album, I think. Sometimes.
I also recall a story where Roger Waters visited Syd Barrett after during the recording of Wish You Were Here, and Wish You Were Here is very much about Syd Barrett, like pretty plainly. And Syd Barrett said he said it sounded old, or like basically like retreading a little bit. And I honestly, like, after reading his comments and listening to it, like, it's not bad, but like I could definitely see how he thought you guys are just kind of like Dark Side of the Mooning a little bit here, with your wankiness on this album. And that it just reminds me of that. Like, I still love Wish You Were Here as an album, but like even that one could be said to be like a little bit of more of the same ish, whereas like Animals and then The Wall was like very different. But yeah, that can happen with bands. And even their members can be like, what are we doing here? Or former members.
I love Syd Barrett, like his solo stuff.
Yeah, I think I heard his solo album like once. It's not bad stuff. It just doesn't get the kind of play as Pink Floyd and that whole story does. But I think Wish You Were Here was probably where the turn started to happen with those guys, as far as we determined on side A. But I don't know. Did we do Wish You? I feel like maybe we're doing Wish You Were Here next. Okay. But we talked about Animals and The Wall and stuff, and I definitely agree. There's like a real shift that occurs. But this is very good though. This is what I would expect from Conor Oberst. I was really pleasantly surprised by this. But
And it
yeah, I
came at
don't.
such a good time too. I mean, like I
Mhm.
needed it when that album dropped.
Yeah,
In the middle of the September last year, things were pretty crappy out there.
yeah, yeah. It was pretty. Yeah, I mean, it's still not great, but it was pretty bad. September of 2020.
It's still not great, is it?
It's not perfect. It's not ideal, but
Yeah,
we're getting better.
we're getting better. Yeah,
Is this really the first release in nearly a decade?
yeah.
Wow.
The People's Key, and then this. But he did a bunch of solo stuff too. So
Wow. Okay. Oh, that's right. He released a few as just Conor Oberst.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
He had the Mystic Valley Band, and
yeah. How's that stuff? Again, I'm not
oh,
the best at following artists since I started doing this podcast.
I love the Mystic Valley Band. It's very
Yeah,
groovy, and that was one
yeah,
thing that was cool about the Mystic Valley Band was it was like it was um it was a different collection of people, because
yeah.
I don't think Mike Mogus or Nate Walcott were in it, but a whole bunch of other artists, Taylor Hollingsworth, Macy
Yeah,
Taylor,
yeah.
Nick Freitas, and they contributed their own songs to the projects too, and so there was
Okay.
like a different diversity of songwriting going on, and it was
Yeah,
very
yeah.
groovy, like very kind of it had like a real kind of country rockabilly
Ooh,
groove to it.
okay.
Like
Okay.
I wouldn't call it rockabilly, no, but
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's
yeah,
probably have just a different flavor. Like if so, because if
Borrowing
other
some
people
things.
are, yeah, if other people are contributing, then it's not, it's probably a little different than his, because he usually has a pretty specific lyrical direction with everything. You know what I mean?
oh
And
yeah,
like a overarching theme or story or whatever. So yeah, I'm sure that was good for him. It's
oh
just
yeah.
just relax and make a lighthearted thing maybe.
I could definitely see how like interacting with different people helps keep your mind fresh and agile,
Hmm.
nimble, so
Yeah, yeah. Go out there and meet different people, and you can do it
definitely,
online. You can do it
yeah,
online even today. You know, now that everyone knows how to use Zoom. Um,
definitely.
yeah, but that's yeah, that was another Bright Eyes song. I'm gonna check that album out.
You
This
must.
I must. Do you know what Calais is? Either of you guys? Is that a Nebraska thing?
No,
Calais. Well, he mentions Omaha. I think that's why we chose this.
he does mention Omaha
Yeah,
in the song.
yeah.
He's stuck
It's
there
a
in
French
Omaha.
city.
Omaha.
No, Calais.
Oh,
Calais,
oh,
yeah, is a
okay.
French city
Okay,
in the
so
north of
It's a
France, the very north of France.
okay, so he's saying like
he's talking about a
from
ferry ride to Calais to Dover.
yeah, yeah. Oh, and Dover is a country, right?
No, Dover would
It's a
be
city in the UK.
in, yeah, I think it'd be in UK or
Okay.
maybe in Scotland.
Yeah. Because we have our Dover, but most of those are
Hmm.
ripped off. So
Southeast England, yeah.
yeah. Okay. Interesting. Paris to England.
He's talking about like getting sick on this ferry ride and how like I mean, it really is about a relationship that's kind of like collapsing in front of his eyes too.
Huh.
I think that maybe this getting sick on the ferry ride must have been significant in some way, precipitating or
Yeah.
who knows, I mean, it could
Yeah.
all just be a third person perspective of a different person's relationship.
That's true. You never really know with these singer-songwriters,
Well, that's
you
the
know?
beauty of a song is that
Yeah.
you're not supposed to explain it too much,
Mm-hmm.
because you want the audience to derive their own meaning, and you don't want to impede in that
Mm-hmm.
process if you can help it.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time we have an artist on and we're discussing their own music, like there's definitely a few questions that they're like, I'm not gonna answer that one. It's like that's fair, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like especially if I'm getting too close, I think, if I'm getting really close to what what it's actually like about. They're like, no, you can interpret it your own way. But because there's always, generally there is some inspiration or whatever, but if you look into at all like how Paul McCartney writes or whatever, it is pretty random sometimes what the
Oh
inspiration
yeah.
is.
Did you watch Get Back?
Oh, I did. Well, I'm
Yeah.
watching through it. I'm on the first part, but
Okay. Yeah.
he just finds stuff that sounds like cool, and he turns it into words and then sings them. And whether or not the words make sense, he makes them
It's
make
pretty.
sense, kind of, but it's bizarre. It's really crazy.
It was crazy seeing him like work out, some of those lines in the song
Yeah,
"Get Back." He's like, "Oh, well, where?"
yeah,
He's living in Tucson, Arizona. Like, where is he going to want to go from there? Well, I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
California grass. Like,
It really is a magical, like, 5-10 minutes of that documentary. Like, if anyone out there, like, it's is at all a Beatles fan, you have to watch that, because I was telling Nate, it kind of demystifies them a little bit,
oh
you
yeah,
know, in a very cool way. Yeah, I know everyone's raving about it, but rightfully so. But yeah, we have another track for you guys. This is one of Conor Oberst's earliest projects, actually, and he ended up stopping this project partially because of the popularity of that Bright Eyes was starting to get. So kind of a postal service situation. But yeah, this is Desaparecidos, Greater Omaha.
Can't afford to be generous. There's closing costs and a narrow margin. So go on your degree, and we'll take you out to lunch. You can work for us, but you gotta eat them all up. Yeah, one more mouthful and we will be happy then.
I was lucky. I had a friend that loved Bright Eyes, and she gave me, or I burned a disc of the Desaparecidos, and oh my god, loved this album. Played it a whole lot. It's called a Read. What was it? Read Music, Speak Spanish is the name of the album. But yeah, were you aware of Desaparecidos when you were listening to Bright Eyes and all that?
I wasn't. I learned about them kind of later on as I
Okay,
started kind
yeah,
of plumbing the catalog and
yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's a lot of anger in that track, and I
yeah.
love it. And
That's
I love it. It's primal.
yeah. It's because that's like like I said earlier, that's kind of what I loved about him initially, was the angst and the anger. So this was him in kind of a more almost like relatable to more of the emo music at the time, which it would have been cool if he went in this direction, but I would not have wanted him to overall. Like, I wouldn't have wanted that band to become more popular than Bright Eyes and change, to where this was his whole, journey. But it is a great album, and I always wished that he would come back and like do a second one or something. But
He did
I don't.
actually. It looks like
Wait, when?
they did another one in 2015 called payola, which is the term for when you
Motherfucker.
back in the day when musicians would basically, like,
Ask
the
and you shall
studios would give
receive.
money. Yeah, I
Oh
think
man.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
Van Halen did a payola album once where they were like, it was really shit, and then their studio had to pay radio stations to play it
Oh,
for
that
a
that
time.
that used to
Yeah,
happen a
that's
lot
a scandal.
back in the day.
Yeah,
That used to happen a lot back in the day, because they would try to get out of the record contracts, because you'd be like, they have to make so many albums before they can leave the record contract. So then they just pump out like 5 albums in a short amount of time and not put a whole lot of effort into it. So yeah, every now and again, if you hear a really crap album, that might be why. Every now and again, they really are just like, no, just push it out the door. But I had, man, I am such a bad fan of music. Like, ever since, like, I think my peak music fandom was when I had an iPod Classic, so I could like always have it on my person. But it's so hard to keep track of bands.
Oh, definitely.
But I feel like I feel so bad when there's like there's certain bands that, like, I should have been supporting all this time, looking back. But what are you gonna do as a kid? Sometimes you don't really care about that stuff. But yeah, this track is actually very connected to Nebraska. It's got kind of a theme about not gentrification, but urbanization. He was kind of witnessing the urbanization of his, the plains around him and stuff, and more super centers and fast food restaurants and all those kinds of things. So yeah, this entire track is like kind of screw my hometown and my, what's going on in my, local level stuff. Like he's not cool with these changes. Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I liked he had a line in there about SUVs and
yeah,
drive off in your SUV.
yeah, and years later, like I got to agree. We got way too much fast food.
Definitely.
So much so that we have people door dashing for it. And it's just cut the fast food guys. I mean, except the people that are ordering from Nate, you guys keep eating fast food.
Unless it's an In-N-Out burger.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Or something good. Yeah. Save up your money and go once a week to get a $10 cheeseburger that's way better.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God.
Yeah. I still can't for the life of me understand DoorDash. Like, I don't know why anyone would get a fast food thing delivered.
It's $10 extra for food that steamed itself in the bag. One time I got like a chicken fried steak with fries, and the fries had absorbed all of the moisture out of the steak, and they were soggy, and then the steak was dry.
Yeah. I mean, it's iffy when you're getting regular delivery. But anyway, this next track is gonna be we're gonna go off to our break on a sad one. This is Elliott Smith's Between the Bars.
Drink up, baby. Look at the stars. I'll kiss you again. Between the bars where I'm seeing you there with your hands in the air, waiting to finally be caught. Drink up one more time and I'll make you mine. Keep you
Oh man,
That voice.
it just makes me want to cry.
Oh my gosh.
Man, tragic.
I'm holding my composure, but
Yeah. You ever see the Royal Tenenbaums, guys? Either of you?
I'm such a bad movie.
It's
person.
that's one of the Wes Anderson films. Yeah, the one with Lex
Bill
Luthor.
Murray?
The guy that played Lex Luthor is in it.
Was he also the Facebook guy? Was he Mark Zuckerberg?
Gene Hackman.
No, okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's the other Lex Luthor.
The other,
earlier.
yes, the old.
I'm thinking Jesse Eisenberg.
From way long. Yeah, I'm thinking of Jesse Eisenberg in the new crappy DC movies.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
Gene Hackman.
So in the Royal Tenenbaums, there is a harrowing suicide attempt scene with Luke Wilson, with Elliott Smith music playing behind it. It is one of the saddest movie scenes I think I've ever seen. It's like for just like a minute in that movie, it goes Requiem for a Dream, but otherwise it's like really kind of cheery and that Wes Anderson kind of
weirdness.
Yeah.
And
but
this must have been before Elliot died.
I have to think it was, hold on, Royal Tenenbaum. When did Elliott Smith die?
2004, 2005,
2003.
2003.
Yeah. And I think the Royal Tenenbaums was hold on, 95.
Oh wow.
Actually, it says 2001.
Oh wait,
you might be.
2001. 2001.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the wrong
that
thing.
makes sense.
So it's
yeah,
before.
That all fits.
Wow. So yeah. I wasn't sure of it when I saw the scene, I didn't like look it up immediately. I was just too devastated. But it's a really depressing scene. I'm not saying go out and watch it if you want to get depressed, but go out and watch it if you want to get depressed.
I've been so bad. Like I like the idea of Wes Anderson films, but I haven't sat down and like dived in enough. And I fall asleep during movies. That's my
I had like
narcoleptic.
Oh, okay. I had like a 2-month like binge of all the Wes Anderson stuff, and oh man, he makes you feel. He's a real. Elliott Smith is perfect for a Wes Anderson film. You know, it was a perfect fit for the vibe that he's trying to get, because like he is often talking about really or covering really depressing stuff, but in like a quirky way, Wes Anderson. So yeah, this was seemed like Wes Anderson at his most raw, using this kind of song with a suicidal scene. But yeah, Elliott Smith, I know, you know, anyone that knows Elliott Smith is probably familiar with his tragic death in 2001. And yeah, he's a hugely talented individual. He struggled with you know, some drugs and alcohol abuse, though. This song in particular is about struggle with alcoholism and trying not to drink drink too much. And apparently it was a lot of his songs had, you know, certain themes touching on that stuff. But yeah, we included him in this because he was born in Nebraska. He's not really from Nebraska in the sense that he like represents Nebraska in his music or anything, but yeah, I just thought it was interesting that him and Conor Oberst were both from Nebraska.
It is kind of crazy. Yeah, Omaha, no less.
Yeah, because they're just both in very different ways, just so good at expressing emotions.
Yeah, very easy access to the heartstrings. You know,
yeah. Must be something in the water in Omaha, I'm thinking. You know?
Maybe.
Yeah. We'll have to go to like an open mic in Omaha, see what it's like. Is it just a group of people crying while watching a performance?
I think a road trip is in order. I'm totally there.
I agree.
Meet you guys in
meet you in Omaha.
Madison. Yeah.
yeah.
Out to Omaha.
Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna I shouldn't have used this right before the break. This is kind of a low note to end the segment on, but
first half
we're gonna come back on the second half, and we're gonna pick it up. We got some stuff that really kind of represents the great place, you know, kind of idea of the state. So yeah, when we come back, we have 6 more tracks for you guys.
All right,
see you in a minute.
Whatever you do, don't stop. It's only been an hour since everyone on Earth heard those same words. And after seeing what happens, I won't be stopping anytime soon. Their screams kept me moving, and I'm exhausted. He'd stopped moving. Black tears streamed down his expressionless face, and then he smiled. I wish I could say witnessing his dying moments was the most horrific thing to happen to me today.
Well, I mean, this album is already playing with time and space for 3PO and R2 to even understand these references.
Why not get 3
And
John
you know
Bon
what?
Jovis?
Later we're going to find out, right before John Bon Jovi dies, they take a recording of him, and it's all beeps and whistles, and they use that for R2-D2 back in '76.
Oh my God, you broke this wide open.
It's the only thing time travel.
Wake up!
Wake up, sheeple! John Bon Jovi is R2-D2. All right, guys. He's here. All right, everybody. It's Brack o'clock. It's fucking time, guys.
Hello, everybody. This is Brack, and you're listening to the album concept year, because some of the shows are really long.
What's up, everybody? It's Brad, the host here. What you're about to see is our first time listening through to the Joey Cliff's Our 50 States project. We started with North and South Dakota, and he has all the rest of the 50 states all finished out, completing Sufjan Stevens' work. I just wanted to chime in and let you guys know that we actually have an interview with Joey Clift that we are going to be putting out sometime next week. We're going to put out the interview in its entirety. So if you want to hear that one, you're going to have to like and subscribe.
We're in a rating system here.
Wherever you got to do that, or hit the bell. I think there's a bell, they tell me. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy this video. If you want to listen to the full episode, you go to patreon.com/flyoverstatepark, and you can find our entire backlog of Side B.
Side B.
I'm really excited to jump into what we're working on tonight. Joey Clift is a comedy writer, written on several like network television things. And yeah, during the quarantine, he reached out to people and told me he was doing this Our 50 States project. It is an incredible amount of work. He did what Sufjan Stevens couldn't do in 6 months or something. So
impressive.
It's pretty impressive output wise. So we're gonna finally do one of his weird kind of amalgamations of tracks about North and South Dakota.
And North and South Dakota as one. We are doing that. That was an executive decision by Brad because
yes,
we have a lot of states to cover. Wherever the Corn Palace is. There's a Corn Palace, by the way. It's in Mitchell, South Dakota. Yeah. It is an entire building because it's a big corn area. So they cover the outside with fresh or I think it's with dried corn every year and decorated in patterns. And it's usually Western singers and country singers that are done in murals and stuff in corn.
Huh.
And it's a palace.
You want to get on to the first track here? First track is just called North by North Dakota. So yeah, let us know how it's sounding out there. And yeah, here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Hey, same start.
Wow. No idea.
One second, guys.
I'm going north by North Dakota. That's what this letter told you. I won't be back when the winter snow falls again. I'll always treasure.
Oh, he really did produce the entire list of states. That's so impressive.
I know, right? It's completely insane.
Going north by North Dakota.
Huh.
That was beautiful. That was a really good tune. 200 musicians joined forces for this.
All right. I'm going to read everything I can now.
South Dakota, why don't you love me? It's because
also, just like me, he says he's not a huge Sufjan fan, so I'm with him.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I see the whole style as a little tongue-in-cheek at the very least, but also it's probably a pretty easy style to write a lot of stuff. Oh, I have to start at 6 a.m. tomorrow. God damn it. Okay, sorry.
Oh no.
Just got a work text.
Oh no.
I'm really bad
That's
at
not
starting
good.
work on time, so it's going to be super wonderful.
I remember work.
I love how there's this sad piano playing and you're like, I remember work in the before times when the people could go outside and play.
I mean, this is a hell of a pandemic project overall.
Yeah, what'd you guys think of that? How'd that hit you? How you feeling?
Right. Well, because when you said one Dakota, I mean, I could think of it as one people. Yeah. And I could definitely think that, as I mentioned earlier, I definitely think the Lakota Sioux could think of themselves as one Dakotan people. The white settlers who turned North Dakota and South Dakota into a joke for us to laugh at.
Probably no.
I don't know.
I'd like to start this story by asking, please nobody sue me for anything I'm about to say. I'm pretty sure nothing that
That's
I
a good
say
start.
is libel or slander. I don't remember which one is spoken aloud. But I have a story about something that happened while I was an 8th grader in a small North Dakota town. I'm not going to specify the name of the town because I am afraid that people will hear about it and get mad at me. So the wrestling team became somewhat infamous nationally very briefly in February about 10 years ago in my small town because the team had stopped on the way to a tournament. They'd stopped on the side of the road in order to slaughter a raccoon. They saw it on the side of the road and thought, this is our chance to just murder the beast. And 4 or 5 students, as well as the coach, got off and just beat the shit out of this poor animal. And according to this news article, which I would love to cite, but again, I am afraid of a lawsuit, they put the animal under the bus in like a little storage compartment, and they thought it was dead. And then the next day, they opened it up and realized the raccoon was alive after all. Someone's parents found out about the whole thing while they were on the way to the tournament, and they were disqualified because they were told they had to come home. And you might think, okay, well, this was a big thing, you know, the coaches probably all got fired. No, they did not. The wrestling coach was unanimously allowed to keep his position for the rest of the year. I believe he didn't come back the following year. And he retained his position as an elementary school science teacher. And I guess my whole goal with this story is to say that my town was incredibly bizarre, and it's the sort of place where a room could be packed with support for a man who asked a bunch of children to get off a bus with him and slaughter a raccoon. And I think that's pretty beautiful. I also think that this man taught me in elementary school, and he told everyone that if I had drank milk, I wouldn't have had a broken leg. Which I don't think is true, but because he made that comment, I was a little... I've always had a little, you know, just a little about him. So if anyone thinks he's a bit silly based on this story, you know, that's fine by me.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Holy shit. That was one of the most intense things I've heard on a podcast.
Like, you're not.
I do gotta say though, this did remind me of a story that's not my story; it's a friend's story, so I won't specify. But they were at their cousin's house, and I'll tell you the state. It was Indiana. So they apparently decided to go out and bury I forget what animal it was, but some kind of rodent up to their neck, and then run over them with lawnmowers. So I guess the moral of the story here is I guess some really fucked up stuff happens in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
That you only really hear from firsthand accounts. Thanks for watching. Next week we will be interviewing Joey Clift, the architect of the Our 50 States project, and we are going to go over our top 15 from the 500 and some odd songs that were in that project.
We're in a rating system here.
All right, guys. He's here. All right, everybody. It's brag o'clock.
I'm ready.
Welcome back, everybody, to the album concept hour. Is it going? Is it going? We go?
Oh, I think I went to the wrong. I think I fat fingered and clicked on another scene that was misconfigured.
Okay.
But we're good now. We're good now.
We're good now. We're on.
Yeah.
This is the album concept hour, and we're back. And we are here to talk about Nebraska. We're kind of trying to determine the Sufjanity of these Nebraska tracks that we have brought together. I got to ask, actually, what do you know about Sufjan Stevens? Are you a fan of his work?
Definitely, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I was exposed to Sufjan's Illinois album or Illinois album. Nobody who lives in Illinois calls it Illinois, which is, I think, part of the beauty of the title of that album.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably 2007 or so. Somebody was like, "You got to listen to this." And it's like, "Oh man, I love it." Yeah.
It was a really magical sound when it came out. You know, it was definitely something that a lot of my friends were sharing amongst themselves. It's I mean, you know, it's the reason we're doing this whole like podcast thing or whatever. But
you only got through 2 states though, didn't they?
Yeah, that's the whole problem. That's why that's kind of what we're doing here, is trying to complete it, you know.
But we know there's a lot of other artists out there that do it and that make those kind of albums.
If I was gonna write a song about Nebraska, I would probably make it about the one Nebraska experience I've had, which is driving from. I finished graduate school and was driving to Madison, Wisconsin, to basically move my 2 kids, and wife, our 2 cars, and it was this long ass road trip. No air conditioning. And we spent the night in Denver, Colorado. And once you get out of the mountains in Denver, Colorado is a long ass plain state of just like cattle ranches. It's just like flat cattle ranches as far as the eye can see. And I swear we were like driving all night. It was getting to 2 a.m. We're driving into Nebraska. We find like this, you know, it's before everybody had like internet phone kind of stuff, right? Like, so it's like, you just kind of had to like wing it a little bit. And so on the side of the road, you know, we see this like signs like, you know, like hotel. And so we take the exit, you know, we're like exhausted and we're just like hoping to find a place to stay for the night.
Yeah.
And you know, it's one of these ones where it's like you get off the exit ramp and you're like driving like out into the woods, like miles and miles and miles, like off the highway to like find it. And we get to the hotel finally, you know, and the lady's like, "Yeah, we do have a room, you know, and like who's gonna stay in this room, you know, who's gonna be in this room," and I describe our situation. It's like, you know, it's gonna be my wife and my 2 kids. And she's like, "Oh man, I'm really sorry. I can't let you stay in this room, because we have these, you know, specially themed rooms, and
oh no,
the one room that we have that's available is all done up for, you know, like bondage work and
wow,
the freakiest experience." And so, like,
in the middle of Nebraska,
middle of bumblefuck nowhere, Nebraska.
Wow. That's not what I would expect in the middle of nowhere.
There's a song in there.
So
somewhere.
did you stay in the bondage room?
We did not.
Okay.
we made it to Omaha.
Yeah, you didn't come up with some
something.
weird excuse for your kids, like, "Oh, this is just this is where Batman stays."
This room is very rock and roll. There's leather all over everything. I don't.
Yeah, exactly. And the straps are just to keep you, you know, tied down in your sleep. If you're, you know, some of the moves around,
roll over or anything.
There's a fine line between BDSM and Judas Priest, or between Leather Daddies and Judas Priest.
Yeah,
I mean, the singer's himself is
a very fine line. Very fine line. But okay. So we understand a little bit more then about Nebraska situation. But Omaha, you were able to find a normal non-bondage hotel room.
We found a Days Inn in Omaha and probably slept there for like 3 hours and then got back on the road.
Nice. Well, yeah, we're gonna move on to with that. We're gonna move on to another track, guys. We got 6 more tracks left about Nebraska, and this next one is actually a lot of this is that's coming up are things that you recommended to me on Twitter. So this first band is Miwi La Lupa, and you were telling me that they transplanted to Nebraska around 2016. So yeah, this is their track, Giant Sleeping.
Your friends will have your back and your front no matter what is going on. So why not sweep these eggshells off the floor? We're here right now and there is nothing more. He's a cross between a hurricane and a hyperactive boy. Any further explanation drown out his pink noise.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, this song about halfway through, we didn't pick it in this clip, but about halfway through, the drums come in and like becomes like a kind of almost different sounding song too, like much more rockier, more like that kind of like that Bright Eyes song that you were commenting on, Nate. But yeah, really great. I didn't hear anything but this song, but I was really impressed.
Yeah, I love MeWe stuff.
Yeah. Have you seen them perform?
So he played he like backed up Connor on a solo tour. I didn't see him play there, but he actually they went on tour this to back up their brand new album, Bright Eyes.
Oh yeah.
He played with them. He was in the band actually for this. So he's
wow.
He's like in that, in that group. I think.
Okay.
He lives really close to Mike Mogus, and
so they had a really legitimate reason for transporting to Nebraska.
Yeah. He's working on an album now. I'm really excited to hear how that comes out. And
is this has he done much of his own stuff?
Oh yeah, he's got like three albums up there on Bandcamp, and
yeah. I'm really impressed. It definitely fits really well with a lot of the other stuff on this playlist.
And I love how melodic his voice is too.
It's kind of it's a little Sufjan-esque, I was thinking.
I could see that.
God, I'm trying to remember a Sufjan line, but I can't think of one right now. But it's got that kind of like, like simple like way of singing. Like he's not like expressing too much. He's I don't know. It's just very clean, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
I can totally feel that. Yeah. Yeah. He's like, the delivery is matter of fact.
Yeah. Straightforward. It just kind of it's really good without needing to show off.
Yeah, and I think it contrasts with kind of like a lot of his lyrical choices as well too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But definitely really enjoy what I'm hearing here. The next track we have is from a little more, well, it's more well known to me, Cursive, because like they were kind of emo adjacent, if I remember correctly. But yeah, this is Cursive and Black Hole Town. Okay, I definitely didn't hear that lyric when we were first listening to this.
Yeah,
Town's an asshole.
Oh yeah. I think he must be talking about Omaha.
Yeah. I don't. lot of people seem to really not like Omaha. It seems to be a real thorn in some Nebraskan side.
I think that must be like, the angst of youth.
Yeah, yeah,
That you know living in a small town, you always have this grass is greener on the other
yeah,
side
yeah,
perspective,
yeah,
and you hate everything anyway. And
yeah,
so I definitely, like, in hindsight, that's how
yeah.
I feel about the small hometown that I'm from.
Hmm. Yeah, I do think everyone feels like that to start out with. Like a lot of people feel like that, in their teens and into their 20s for sure. This song almost seems to be like, uh, I don't know. It almost seems like they're being ironic a little bit because it's so on the nose. You know, like there's a lot of songs that are like, "Oh, I hate my hometown." Like that's like a whole subset of songs, but he's saying it like this like saying this town's a black hole. This song's an ass. This town's an asshole. Is just like kind of exactly what you'd expect a teenage someone to say about their hometown. You know what I mean? It's
I
almost,
could see that.
you know. Um so I don't know. I don't know if they were like just trying to like let's just make like the most like, you know, just local despairing kind of like, angsty I want to get out of this town song we can.
I
You know.
definitely have written songs that channel, teenage me,
Mhm.
to,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
I
That's
mean, those are
that's
some
important.
there's some powerful shit back there, like.
Yeah, yeah. I've mostly left it back there, but
No, you
maybe I
need
should grab some of it.
you need to
Yeah,
go to that well and
yeah, yeah.
process it a little bit, turn
Maybe
it into a
that's
song.
maybe that's where my songs are waiting for me.
Yeah, no.
um, yeah, no, I mean, because that is one thing, like, especially being a fan of like Con Roberts and Bright Eyes, like like the the fact that like especially during my youth like creating something almost always came from a negative place or a sadness or a depression, whereas like creating something that was positive or introspective in a good way was a lot more rare.
Yeah, yeah.
And whereas I think that I think I'm putting out some pretty positive content though these days. I'm not,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm tipping the scales a little more so than when I started. But that's something you always wonder growing up is like, oh, what is the best way to be inspired to write a song? Is it through the sadness or is it through the happiness
Sometimes it's
Or
just
the anger.
deadlines.
deadlines?
I've been taking these songwriting classes through the schoolofsong.org from
Ooh,
artists that I
cool.
really admire. Like I took
Yeah.
a guitar class from Buck Meek, and
Wow.
he's the guitar player for Big Thief, and took a
Yeah.
songwriting
Yeah.
class from Meg Duffy, who's the lead singer of Hand Habits, a band I really love, and they're on
Yeah.
the Saddle Creek label actually. But
Okay.
one thing they said that was just like really kind of crazy and just stuck with me from the class is like, every time I write a song, I worry that it's the last song the universe has for me.
Oh,
And
damn.
so it's like you're this, incredibly successful artist,
Yeah.
and you go through this, this is universal, and you just have to work
Yeah.
your way through it and like write a song. And so,
Yeah. You
everybody can do it.
like that's kind of like reminds me of like the Beatles documentary we were mentioning. Like you see that all throughout that process because they're coming together after years of not being together. They don't know if they can write songs together anymore, and it's yeah, you can feel the tension with
Oh
them.
yeah.
I think and Kendrick Lamar on his song "Fear," it's on my head because we just covered that on side A. That's one of the things he mentions: fear of losing creativity.
Oh yeah.
Like that was one of the main fears that he lists. And yeah, for anyone that creates content or does any sort of creative endeavor, like that really hits home. Like, because that is, yeah, you're like, how much can I put out before it becomes hacky?
And deadlines and like just like having a little bit of accountability to yourself really goes a long way.
Yeah.
Because like we do, like when I do these classes, it's like there's a couple of homework assignments, and you have to have a song ready for class to share it and play it for your peers in class. And so it's like I always come out of that class with 2 or 3 songs.
Yeah.
That are like good.
Nice.
That I like.
Yeah. That's, I mean, I found, especially, putting these out weekly, that's just the exercise of doing it is going to help you when you are more inspired maybe for something. So
and it just gets easier with time. It's like a muscle
Yeah.
that when you like continue to work it, it's like
Yeah.
coming up with a song is way easier now to me.
Yeah. Now I don't have to spend like 10 hours or something laboring at my editing for the podcast, because I know some things, I know a few hotkeys, you know what I mean?
Shortcuts in your mind.
And that's just like, just like any, anything, it's really the repetition is like the most important thing, but yeah, let's move on to another track though. That was Cursive, Black Hole Town. Oh, the album is called Black Hole Town too, so they were really leaning into that.
Nice.
But this next one is from a band called The Good Life, which is the state slogan, and from his album Blackout, this is O'Rourke's 1:20 a.m.
The whole world's in love, holding hands between bar stools, and you're holding your tongue. Hold on, you're so fucked up, you're so fickle. Isn't this what you want? So simple.
Oh my god.
Nice.
I'm liking like all of these groups so much.
I was like listening to the playlist earlier today, and I was like washing dishes or something, and I was just dancing. Like it was just so good. Like this is an awesome list.
This is the kind of stuff I used to like almost mostly exclusively listen to, so this is definitely like bringing me back to that kind of feeling, like now I listen to it every now and again, but it's not like it's like I'm listening to it for a month straight or something, just the same feeling of songs. And there's just something raw about this way of writing songs. They're like they're not always perfect vocals, they're not always like as polished as singer-songwriters are expected to be before that time, but they're just as powerful.
The lead singer of The Good Life, I think, is Tim Kasher, who's also the lead singer of Cursive.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was gonna say that does sound really, really, really close.
and Tim was in a band with Connor, Commander Venus. Yeah, I think they were in a band together. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Like it was, I think, Connor's first band, though. Don't quote me on that one.
He had a lot of projects before like Bright Eyes became the main thing. Yeah. He was kind of just doing that thing where he was just putting out whatever and seeing what would stick at that point, I think.
Yeah.
But no, this is Cursive is one of those bands that like I should be in my repertoire. But like I just kind of missed like the Appleseed Cast. We covered that on side A few weeks back, and I loved every track of Low Level Owl volume 1 and 2. It was just exactly what I'd be into. So yeah, I think Cursive is definitely going to be is one of those groups probably too. Like I should have listened to this in high school. you know. And yeah, I'm glad that I'm glad that this is him. I was kind of confused by this album, this Blackout album,
Oh yeah.
because it appears to just be a concept album about like losing your wife, going to the bar, and blacking out. It's a very kind of interesting approach, I guess.
I think one of the last Cursive albums was like kind of on this meta topic of like the songwriting process. The Ugly Organ. The Ugly Organ. I was reading about this. Is about
The Ugly Organ. That's a good title.
Yeah, it's about songwriting. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know much about this guy's background. I'm going to look into it though. This song though, I will say one criticism for the song though is it ends like 3 times. Like I thought that the song was like very much done, and then like another line came in. I was like, wait, still okay. But he kind of, I think he's repeating a lot of motifs throughout the album or something. I haven't heard the whole thing. It seems like though there's like a
maybe in context.
Theme.
Yeah.
It probably, yeah. I'm sure in context those endings make sense, but like listening to it just on the list, I was like, just several times I thought that the next person had started, you know. But yeah, this is probably one we're going to cover on side A though. I mean, since it is a concept album about blacking out, and curious about more.
Nice,
like there's O'Rourke's 2:40 a.m. That's a different song, so you know, maybe he's good and blacked out by then.
Right. And that O'Rourke's must be a bar. Like
yeah. It is. I did look it up. It is from Nebraska. So this is right here is a Sufjan-esque song. You know.
Nice.
So yeah, the next track we have for you though is by a guy by the name of Buddy Miles from his album Them Changes. This is Memphis Train.
I wanted to go for the breakdown.
Yeah. Now this is probably the first track on this list that really makes me think of Nebraska being the good life, you know?
Yeah.
Like this person seems like they love their upbringing. They love where they're coming from and they're having a lot of fun. But yeah, you suggested this one. I didn't know too much about this artist, but they've been involved with a lot of stuff.
Right. Yeah. I can't take total credit. I'm
okay.
I asked this Facebook group that I'm part of that is like a fan group for Bright Eyes for suggestions, and somebody listed them.
Yeah.
And yeah, apparently was the drummer for Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah. Jimi Hendrix. He played like alongside a lot of big names back in the day, but yeah, he starts out almost with Jimi Hendrix. Like he's very, very young when he gets with Jimi Hendrix. So
what a way to start your day.
Yeah. Oh my God. So this is him when he's leading a band though. But yeah, he's fantastic. And it's not really a place that you would think about for like R&B, kind of like this kind of music. But yeah, it's I guess the time that he was making it. But yeah, I will also mention there's he played with Santana as well. That's a big guy that he played with. But here's an interesting tidbit. He was also the lead vocals on the critically and commercially acclaimed California Raisins claymation TV commercials.
Oh my god!
And recorded
really?
2 California Raisins R&B albums.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Yeah. So
I remember those in junior high.
yeah, I remember hearing about them being problematic. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I have one of them in my drawer here, and I don't display it anymore because people said it's problematic. But this guy played the California Raisins, so I don't know. But yeah, I had no idea though. I didn't know there was two albums, two full California Raisins R&B albums. So
I can believe it. I
what
mean,
would that even be about? Like, is he just singing regular show tunes, but he's a raisin instead? Like, what would that even be?
they could probably rehash the whole soundtrack from The Big Chill, because
Mm.
that was the soundtrack that I heard it through the grapevine. Like I think
Oh yeah.
I think that was the soundtrack that like brought that song into the 80s.
Oh, and Grapevine would fit, being the raisins, you
Right.
know.
That was the song in the
Yeah.
commercial. I heard it through the grapevine.
Oh, is that the original
That was,
California Raisins thing?
yeah. That
Okay,
was their
okay.
thing, and
Yeah, nice. I never actually saw it,
yeah,
but
it was a sight to see.
I remember seeing a lot of like imagery of that when I was growing up or whatever, but I don't remember what from. Probably just toys. Probably just toys sitting around.
Maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, that is a guy that we were listening to, Buddy Miles.
Buddy
over
Miles,
here. Yeah. Yeah, from Omaha, Nebraska. So we got a lot of people that are actually, from around the area, you know. And this one is probably like less Sufjan-esque, but I think it fits on this list. So
Definitely.
let's get to another track. We have two more for you. This is going to be from Simon Joyner, and it's called "I Went to Our Lady of Perpetual Healing."
And my lady said, son, you've been misguided. The faith you seek will not shield you from the sun. Your heart is a hungry hunter, your mind is a lonely target, and all of your failures are steps in the right direction. A civil war broke out in my body, and both sides brought their own grenades. It was a battle between my heart and my brain. I can barely recall the grotesque exchange. I started to stagger in my confusion. I started withdrawing into my grief.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy rocks.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I need to listen to all of his stuff.
Is this one you suggested, or is this one I found?
did, yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yeah.
Is this
But it
one that
was
was
one that I
found from
got.
the group?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Facebook group definitely
Yeah.
pointed me towards this. They did me right. They're a very supportive group.
Yeah. No, I mean this is all like I definitely have been enjoying this list a lot. And this one in particular, have you heard of King Missile?
Yes, actually, the lead singer of King Missile came to our open mic one night and played a couple of songs.
What?
And they were kind of bawdy,
Yeah.
songs
Oh,
about
that's
screwing. And
yeah.
I'll
That's
try and
so
find the
cool.
link to that and send it to you.
Oh man, I would be. And it just happened randomly. Like
yeah. I think he was friends with my friend Victory who runs it. They had met on Facebook or something, and I think he just Mark Hall is his name. I'm pretty sure.
Yep. Yeah.
And he showed up at our open mic and played a couple of songs.
Oh, that's
night.
awesome. I love King Missile. Me and my roommate used to just jam out to King Missile 3, and some of his solo stuff. He's just hilarious. He's one of the most hilarious, weirdest guys out there. And yeah, this song reminded me of King Missile a little bit in his approach to songwriting.
I can see that.
It's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek like joke thing, yeah, almost feels like spoken word,
Yeah, King
Yeah.
Missile, like I can definitely see that kind of spoken word attitude that he has a
Mhm.
very conversational tone in the way he delivers.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I would assume. I mean, I even thought when I listened to him back then, like he's probably a big open mic guy. So yeah, it makes sense that he shows up because he just that's where the only place it might make sense. Some of his music, because he's got some weird stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed that this track is kind of he's poking fun at I think his what is it in this part? I went to Our Lady of Perpetual Healing. He like mentions like 4 different Our Lady of Perpetual different.
motion, perpetual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's having a lot of fun with I don't know if
Religion.
I don't know if he actually went to this school, because there is, I think, an Our Lady of Perpetual Healing that I found in Nebraska, but there could be several, honestly. But yeah, I just like this guy's vibe and everything. Just having a ball.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you can see some of the emotional I mean, I think he's a huge influence in the Omaha music scene.
Okay.
And I feel like I can see kind of reflections of that in, the music of Connor and Cursive and
Yeah.
Tim Casher and all these guys. I
Yeah.
think that these things are connected, that
Yeah. Like this has a similar sound to the other artists we've covered. But he just has a dry kind of humor that's attached to it,
I could see that. Yeah.
yeah. Whereas I think generally most of the other artists we've covered so far aren't known for their humor.
Right.
Yeah. Not that they're not funny. I mean, Conor Oberst was hilarious in that interview, but yeah. But we got one more track for you guys. This is by Neva Denova. And is this the last one that you sent me?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is one of my faves. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was a nice way to end the playlist. This is Will the Ladies Send You Flowers?
Will the ladies send you flowers when you die? Will the ladies send you flowers when you die? Will the ladies send you flowers after God takes back his powers? Will the ladies send you flowers when you die?
Oh man.
Oh yeah, man.
so old school. That I love that line. When God takes back his powers, will your lady leave you flowers? Which is such an interesting idea that they're like introducing there, like when you die, God is literally taking back his life essence from you. Like I've never heard it worded like that before in this kind of context, I guess.
I love the kind of the smooth vocal. This is Jake Bellows, is the lead singer, Neva Denova. And
okay. What else is he from? I have heard that name before.
So Neva Denova did a split EP with Bright Eyes. One Jug of Wine, Two Vessels. So he sings
these guys.
Yeah, he sings that song "Spring Cleaning." Amy's got a baby in her stomach. Beautiful song. Really wonderful person.
I think I just skipped those tracks because I was only into Conor Oberst. So I apologize. I apologize, but this is like the kind of song I probably wouldn't have been into at the time, because I was like, that all that traditional sounding stuff is not for me. I want this new emo folk, whatever Bright Eyes is doing right now.
Yeah. But yeah, Jake's released a ton of music solo under his name, and
okay.
They released an album in 2019, I think. No, 2020. May, it was like May of 2020.
Yeah.
him and his girlfriend Morgan Nagler, who's
Okay.
she's the lead singer of a band called Whisper Town, really good band. And
Whisper Town.
Whisper Town, yeah, they're great.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they released this album called Supermoon. It's
Supermoon.
like well, the band was Supermoon. The name of the album was Half Country, and it's like kind of these country duets that they did together.
Oh. Okay.
Beautiful album. I highly
Yeah.
recommend it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of like went the other way. Like I heard the split EP of Bright Eyes and Nita DeNova. I'm like, who is this? And
Yeah.
I really started following Jake and kind of his story and his music, and just like kind of plumbing his catalog too. And
yeah, he's got a beautiful way of putting a song together. I mean, this sounds very classic. It sounds very traditional of the genre, while not sounding
Definitely.
stale,
Yeah, and always, the kind of dark lyrics and
Yeah.
It's very, very much kind of a theme in a lot of his music. So
Yeah, and I think that's a theme in just folk music too. The humanity, the limits of your humanity, the fact that you are going to die, existential kind of things like that. Yeah. Because it's because with folk music you're always trying to write something that is that can connect to all sorts of people, right? Which I think this song successfully does.
Oh yeah. I often write folk songs, to just process what I'm going through, and it turns into something that I think, I hope is translatable to other people.
Yeah.
Taps into emotions that people are going through or whatever.
Yeah. I think like some of the greatest ones we've covered on the podcast have been just very universal, but I really enjoyed this track and this playlist. Like definitely probably might be my favorite one we've done so far as playlists go.
Nice.
This really, like, we did another one with some of the stuff I grew up with my friend Dustin on the podcast, and that was a lot of fun too. But yeah, this is music I need to really revisit. Like, there's so much good stuff on that I've left on the floor from that. So but yeah, we have only one more thing to do before we get out of the podcast. We're gonna go around the horn. We ask everyone what we've been listening to lately and what we have to plug. So how about I start? I'll go to Nate, and then we'll end with you.
Okay.
I have been listening to Orange G Music actually today. I really enjoyed your newest track that you put out. Can't remember the name of it right now, but I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Echoes in the Park, maybe.
Echoes in the Park. Yeah. Really good stuff. You have a handful of songs out there on your Bandcamp, so I highly recommend people check out the Bandcamp. And as far as what I got to plug, I'm gonna say anyone that is watching this in the next couple of weeks or right now, we are about to reach our 100th episode of Side A. So I'm asking for anyone out there that has been following any of our content to reach out and tell us what their favorite episode or conversation is, and let me know. We're trying to put together a clips episode for the 100th episode, and do like maybe a top 15, top 10 clips of ours to celebrate. And we'd love to hear from you guys. If you want to leave a voicemail, even you can call 1-608-HIT-NERD. That's HITNERD. I don't condone violence to nerds of any kind, but that's the way the numbers panned out. But yeah, if you want to reach out to me, you can also go to the Twitter at Album Concept Pod. Flyover State Park on Instagram. And for everything else, just go to the link tree, linktr.ee/Flyover State Park. What about you, Nate? What are you listening to, and what do you have to plug?
Lately, I've been listening to a lot of Zombie without an E at the end. They're a duo from Philly, and they play electronic music, and they don't sing at all. But I've been listening to them a lot while I play games and edit things, and also sometimes when I'm on the road. I kind of started to like that. Yeah, they do stuff that's like sci-fi or horror sounding stuff or whatever they feel like, and it's all kind of like it kind of reminds me of like ambient stuff like Brian Eno, but with like a John Carpenter feel to it sometimes. But other than that,
very good. It's very good for gaming. Yeah. I will definitely second that.
Yeah, it's like synthy and stuff. But lately, to plug, just I guess cheating two things. I'd say Flyover State TV and also Flyover State Park, the YouTube channels. They're the twin YouTube channels of our thing we're doing here. This is the live channel that you're watching if you're watching this right now or in the future. And we're just trying to build up a bit of a following for our live cast. And then also we have more content that we plan to do. Some of it edited from this channel for the main channel. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff to watch and engage with.
Yeah. And we're very close on the main channel, Flyover State Park, to getting 100 subscribers, which makes it so that we can make a custom URL. So it's not the random numbers and letters at the end of our YouTube page. So yeah, we just need like 23 more, I think, on the main one. And then Flyover State TV, we need like maybe 70. So that's the current goal, though, is 100 in each, so we can get that sweet custom URL. So what about you, Orange G? What you been listening to? What do you got to plug?
Okay, so what I've been listening like ever since I've been releasing music and getting into like the kind of the indie music community. I've been listening to a lot of stuff that you'll never hear on the radio, and and so I've got pals like Chris James Willows and John Mitchie, H.D. Bradley, and this band out of Cleveland. They're my mates, The Jobs.
The Jobs.
The Jobs.
Okay.
Jobs Cleveland. Check them out. They're
like the Steve Jobs, or like the Jobs like career, like work.
I think the name of the band is for the career like work. But
okay. Just checking.
Yeah, check out the Jobs.
they're not like four guys dressed like Steve Jobs.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, they kind of have this like kind of like New Order-y kind of,
Oh, okay.
Like yeah. But kind of sonic-y sound, and a little on the pop side. But yeah, John Mitchie, he does like all sorts of crazy stuff. He's going places. He taught me everything I know about like mixing and mastering and
cool
music. And he's like super duper creative. He released an ambient album last year, early this year, and last year he released his first album, High Vibrations. He's one of my homies. I love his stuff. But yeah, it's like there's so much stuff to listen to all the time in the indie.
Do you have plans of making an album, or do you
I haven't released a track in a while now because I'm saving it all up for an album. So this is like my recording space, and we're getting there. And I'm doing a
you do drums EP. You do the drums too? Oh, that's right, because you're a one man
band
operation.
Stuff, I'll hit the hi-hat while I'm playing guitar sometimes.
And, nice.
All sorts of the kind of folky percussion stuff. I got tambourine.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I need to surround myself with instruments in here.
Instruments.
So I can just reach over. It's cool.
Oh yeah. No, the other day I started picking up lap steel here, so it's
Oh, cool!
It's so much fun.
Oh, I bet. I've never even touched one of those things, man. I've just seen the people that are already amazing at it go at it.
It's not that expensive to get a lap. Pedal steel is like really
Yeah.
hard
And you got the
expensive. But
picks on your fingers or whatever, or
you don't have to. It's
okay.
there are rules, but you can break them, I think. But
Yeah, I mean that's that's kind of how it goes in music, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely an album coming next year.
Okay.
And I'm doing a split EP too with Chris James Willows and John Mitchie,
Nice.
and that's almost done. So it's going to be coming out. So a lot of new music from
And make sure you
me
guys listen to
next
all
year.
the tracks on that split album and not just skip around.
That's right. It's important.
All the artists involved are important to that project.
If I was going to plug something, I would say just follow me on socials. You can find all the socials at Orange G Music, ORANGE G Music. So the color orange, the letter G, and the word music all squished together into one login name. Or you can check out my Linktree. I think Linktree is pretty badass. So linktr.ee/orangeg. And for anyone who's curious, like, why the hell is this guy named Orange G, and why is he not a rapper or whatever?
I was actually wondering that.
So I'm a biologist during the day.
Okay.
Orange G is a dye we use in molecular biology. So it's like when we're separating fragments of DNA. Orange G is a dye that runs about 50 nucleotides of DNA. So it's like a standard that we use.
Hell yeah.
But ever since I saw it, was like, that's OG. Like
that's the OG right there. Yeah. Nice. I like that. Thanks so much for coming on the podcast. It's been a lot of fun talking to you, breaking down these albums or these songs. I'm glad if I have another person to talk some Bright Eyes with, because like you said, it's the people that are really, really like into counter overs are kind of rare and far between.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for coming. Thanks everyone for tuning in to the podcast. Next time on the podcast, we actually have Joey Clift returning on December 21st, and we're going to be talking about the state of Washington. So look forward to Joey Clift's return. All right.
Take care. Then I'll just play some